Broadcasting live from Shibuya, Tokyo, this is your host, Aaron Randall. Welcome to American Hot Topics. Today we're going to talk about various and new items that are hot and trending in America. Things that are most commonly unknown to Japanese. Today's program is brought to you by Kotobanku.
この番組は某国立大学で英語を教えているアーロンと英語学習中のジュンがお送りいたします。
Today we're going to talk about the company Uber. So, June, have you ever heard of the company Uber?
Uber の話題になってますよ。
So it's become kind of a big deal here in Japan?
どうだろうな。あんまり一般の人って言うとあれですけど、みんなが知ってるっていうよりかはやっぱりIT 業界の人とかは非常に今注目してる会社だと思う。
So it's not necessarily known by everyone, but it's pretty popular among maybe IT companies and venture companies.
そうそう。今、インターネットオブシングスって言って、今まであるものとかサービスに、センサーだとか無線がついて、新たに価値を生むっていうのが、次のイノベーションのトレンドだみたいになってて、っていうので Uber よく研究されてる事例だね。
Okay. So really kind of people in kind of the startup sector are really looking into Uber and kind of its business model. Yeah. So Uber is a ride sharing service and it functions using a mobile app and it allows users to access a database of drivers in their vicinity to give them rides, kind of like a taxi service. But Uber has faced a lot of opposition all over the world because actually, they launched a service called UberX, and UberX allows anyone that has a driver's license to become a driver.
すごい時代だよね。
Right. And it's much cheaper than regular taxi services in the area.
いや、本当に羨ましい。タクシー代安くなるしね。
Taxis in Tokyo are extremely expensive, almost evil. Yeah. I mean, yeah, catching a ride at night from Tokyo back to Chiba or Tokyo back to Saitama or to Yokohama, it's probably around $150.
全然するよね。今、日本では、タクシーとか呼べる、Uber で呼べるらしいんだけど、誰でもドライバーになって参加して、誰でもその呼び出せるっていうサービスはまだ、その UberX っていうのは日本ではまだやってないみたいですね。
So they don't have that service yet in Japan.
そうそう。
Right. It's still kind of a traditional classic taxi model.
に、味がついたぐらいになっちゃってて。でもやっぱり Uber の本当の破壊力というか、魅力は、誰でも運転手になれちゃうっていう。
Right. Anyone can become a driver.
そうそう。それでドライバーとお客さんを、IT でローコストにマッチングしてあげることによって、サービス自体も、タクシー料金自体も安くなると。だから実際は3割から5割普通のタクシー会社よりも安くて、でも雪の日とか混む日はちょっと値上げしてみたり。
Right, they actually implement price surging during times of, extreme weather, and this actually encourages more drivers to get out there on the road. So that increases the supply of drivers. So naturally the price goes back down to normal, even during a, time of extreme demand, such as like extreme weather conditions or maybe during a New Year's Eve or Halloween.
もうすごい合理的。で、あと、誰でもドライバーになれるって話で言うと、ドライバーごとにいろんな個性とかサービスも出せるじゃないですか。そう、だからドライバーごとに、例えばさ、日本でも、板車とか言って、あるタクシー会社がそのタクシーの自動車の表面をアニメのキャラクターで覆ったりみたいな、記事も読んだことあるけど、例えばある人は、広島カープファンの、広島カープわかる？
広島、No, I don't know.
日本の、そういう熱狂的なさ、野球ファンの人たちっているじゃん。
baseball fans?
そう。
People who are maybe obsessed with baseball?
そう。広島カープ風タクシー屋さんみたいなのも出てくる可能性もあるってことじゃん。
So someone can kind of tailor make a taxi to appeal to a specific market. So maybe there's like a really popular baseball team in Japan. So what they've done is kind of they've created a taxi that's decorated with maybe with the colors and the of that baseball team.
値段はもちろんUber が統一してたりはするんだけど、おまけをしたりとかは多分自分でできる範囲ではあるんだろうね。Uber 乗ったことないんですけどね。R の友達は結構使ってるの Uber 実際。
Well, yeah, some of my friends who live in big cities in America, they use Uber quite frequently.
地下鉄とかよりも全然便利って感じ
Well, it depends. I think, yeah, they use like the subway, on a daily basis. But maybe if you're in a weird location or far away from a train station, Uber is a really, really quick fix to get to where you need to go. And unlike Japan, that's completely connected by subway, train, and bus, America has a lot of areas that are completely disconnected. So having Uber, having something at the touch of your thumb that you can just press a button and have someone come pick you up is probably the most, I'd say, attractive aspect of Uber from an American's perspective. So Uber has been met with protests and opposition from taxi drivers and taxi companies for a variety of reasons. One of them is because taxi companies believe that Uber compromises passenger safety.
それって誰でもドライバーになれちゃうからってことなのかな?
Right, because anyone can be an Uber driver.
論的にはそれ微妙?
One of the first things I would think of being if I were to use Uber and be picked up by random people all day, I might be a little afraid because it's people I don't know. Being picked up by random people, if the only requirement is to have a driver's license, then anybody can do it, right? So who's driving me?
Right? まあでもあれお客さんが評価できるようになってるんだよね、ドライバーを。
Yeah, so after you take a ride in an Uber taxi, you can rate the driver, and the drivers also have a profile with a history, so you can kind of see who's driving you around.
日本なんて本当に銃持ってる人なんていないんだから本当どんどんやれって感じだけどね。
Yeah, since Japan is, such a safe country, and no one carries a gun here, it's illegal to carry a gun in Japan. If UberX did exist in Japan the same way it did in America,It would be extremely convenient.
で今さ Airbnb っていうのもすごい Uber の前にみんな研究してって今もう大流行りの会社あるじゃないですか。
Airbnb, yeah. Yeah, that's another very controversial company recently. My friends actually used Airbnb when they came to Tokyo.
そう。Airbnb って誰でも自分の家を貸したりとかできるサービスでしょ?
Exactly. Yeah, anyone can use their own house and lend it or rent it out to maybe travelers.
そうだよね。で、Airbnb よりかはいや、家の方がさ、なんかすごい密閉されてて危ない感じあるじゃん。
Right, yeah.
Airbnb がありだったらもう早くUberX やってほしいよね、東京で。
Yeah, so you would much rather have UberX maybe flourishing in Japan than even Airbnb.
まあ一応 Airbnb は今の旅館業法に抵触する可能性はあるらしいけど、まあ今のところは多めに見られているらしいです。
So right now Airbnb in Japan is not illegal, but it has the possibility of being looked at as illegal in the future.
はい、ライフハッカーの記事によると。
So another reason Uber has been met with protests from taxi drivers and taxi companies is that they believe Uber is an illegal taxicab operation, and they believe that they engage in unfair business practices. So much to the point that this year in September, protests had been staged in Germany, France, England, and many other countries.
まあだろうねっていうまあそうなるよねっていう。まあもう本当にこれタクシーに限らず、まあフランスでね、反アマゾン法なんてあったけど、要はアマゾンが配送料を無料にするの禁止するとか、まあこういう大きいプラットフォームができちゃって、限りなく競争が行われるような仕組みになってしまって、既存のプレイヤーが腹を立てるってことはもう本当にさもありなんですよね。
Right. This is not just limited to Uber and Airbnb. This is a classic example of a new player in an already established industry trying to break into the industry, or really trying to take over the industry. And of course the powers that be and the powers already in place are going to fight against it. In the same example that you just brought up about with Amazon. Amazon introduced a free delivery service in France, and that caused a lot of trouble over in France. So one kind of interesting consequence of all of these people who are against Uber is that recently a senior executive at Uber suggested that the company should consider hiring a team of opposition researchers to dig up dirt on its critics in the media. So Uber has been getting a lot of flack from many people, right? Many of the taxi industry and from a lot of media experts, right? So Uber, like Google, Facebook, and Apple, collects data and information on its users. So an executive at Uber at a press conference actually called out a reporter and told her that he's going to use her data against her and use her data in ways to harm her. So, you know, we all know that a lot of these big companies collect data on us, but up until now, usually the executives and the CEOs of these companies have kind of affirmed us that our data is secure and private and being protected. So this is kind of one of the first cases where a CEO or an executive comes out and uses the fact that they're collecting data against the users.
いや、まあでもそれは本当に言っちゃいけないよね。
Right, they can't say that.
いや、そういうインターネットのビジネスに対して、我々はその自分の個人情報と引き換えにこういう利便性を享受しているわけなんだけれども、なんかそれはサービス自体を信頼しているわけであって、一応信頼しているわけであって、もう悪事をばらすなんて本当にやめてほしいよね。っていうか本当に俺、だって Google の検索履歴とか公表されたら、もう恥ずかしすぎて、噴死するね。
If someone dug up your Google history?
そう。会社なんて、まあ、ユーザーからの情報をいろいろ取って、いい風に使い倒したやろうって思ってるとは思うんですよね。だけど、一応安心ですよとか、いうのお約束なわけじゃないですか。
Right, right. We want them to affirm us that our data and our privacy is safe.
Right? そう。まあいろいろやるんだろうけど。
Right. Even though they're probably doing a lot of things behind the scenes.
そう。建前って言っちゃあれですけど、建前と分かっていても我々はまあ一応そう言ってくれるから、分かりましたって言って個人情報を提供してるわけであって、女性を誘う時も同じかもしれないですね。もううまい飯屋が見つかったからとか、チケット1枚余っちゃってるんだけどどうみたいな。
Also, whenever you're inviting like a girl on a date, you say it's just dinner?
そうそう、安全ですって。建前は安全です。
Okay.
実際違くても。はい。
Yeah, so actually in America, it's not, we have a different phrase. We don't say out to dinner. We say, let's watch a movie. Right?
そうなの。
Yeah, so.
家でってこと？
Yeah, at the house. Yeah. But watch a movie maybe equals something else. But right, the image we give off or the atmosphere we give off is that we're just watching a movie, right? Same in Japan.
今回の件はもういきなり狼が牙を向いてますからね。
It's almost as if these companies have a responsibility to make their users feel safe and not to directly say that they will use their data in such a way to harm them, right?
そうそう、もうドン引きですよ、いきなり。
Right. The same way when you are inviting a girl on a date, right? You say, let's go get some food. Let's go watch a movie.
何の話してるんだって、ね。そろそろ違う。このくだりやめるか。
Yeah.
あ、でもそうなんだ。それ、副社長が言ったの？
right. Yeah. The vice president is the one who made these comments.
そうなんだ。いや、なんか前にさ、ウーバーの創業者のトラビスさんの記事を読んだことがあって、もう本当にこの人苦労人みたいで、投資家に騙されて、いろんな企業から訴訟を起こされて、なんかナップスターみたいな P2P のサービスやってたらしいんだけど、それで訴訟されて、共同創業者に裏切られ、資金調達に奔走し、10年間自分への給料は全く払うことができなかった。その間は両親と住み、食事はカップラーメンのみ。もちろん彼女はできない。彼は実にそのような日々を10年間過ごしてきた後の今回の件っていう記事をですね、読みまして、出典はですね、トラビスさんの講演、ウーバーケーススタディっていう講演なんですけど、まあ、この記事を読んだ時にはもう本当になんか成功譚、頑張った人の成功譚みたいな風に思ってたんだけど、もう今じゃやっぱり大きくなっちゃって、外からどんどん役員とかも入ってきて、で、世界中でいろんな問題が起きて、まあ、ちょっと疲れているっていう、そういうことかもしれないですね。
Yeah. So I guess it sounds like the founder of Uber, Travis, you know, he spent 10 years with no money, no girlfriend, eating cup ramen noodles every day for lunch. And, this guy sounds just tired and exhausted because finally when he got major success with Uber, it's not being accepted all over the world, and it's facing large opposition. So it's kind of natural that one of his executives might explode at a reporter and say the things that he said.
でもさ、今この人はさ、まだ関わってるの？ Uber に。
Yes, he's still a part of the Uber company. Thank you for listening to American Hot Topics. The music in this program was brought to you by Aaron Randall and Mateen Jahanmuri. Today's episode was brought to you by Kotobanku.
Aaron?
はい。
Don't you have something to advertise?
そうですよね。今、英会話セミナーを行います。
When is it?
ですね、今のところは2014年12月3日水曜日、12月10日水曜日、12月17日水曜日、どれも水曜日の夜19時半から21時まで行います。
Where at?
東京の渋谷と銀座でやります。
What kind of seminar is it?
ですね、2つあるんですけれども、1つは駆動詞、英語で言うと phrasal verbs ということを中心して、もう1つはビジネス英会話を中心しています。
Facebook で、アメリカンホットトピックスと、ローマ字で入力していただくと Facebook ページが出てきますので、そちらにアーロンがですね、登録の方法を記載しているのでご参照ください。